Coming up on this week's episode of Flash Talk, we talk with Kent State men's basketball head coach Rob Senderoff and the team's most recent non-conference success. Kent State football general manager Mark Watson talks about the 5-7 2025 campaign for the football team. Athletic director Randall Richmond sits down with Kent State legend and former Golden Flash AD Laing Kennedy. You won't want to miss that. And finally, Kent State Gymnastics head coach Brice Biggin talks about the team's upcoming season. All that and more coming up in a flash. Joined once again on Flash Talk by Kent State men's basketball head coach Rob Senderoff. Coach, your team's on a 7-game winning streak. What can you say about the focus of your team coming out against Penn State Shenango? Because I know that was a big emphasis for you.
We defended really, really well that game. Scored the ball, shared the ball. There's not a ton of stuff out of that particular game that I would say, hey, we have to clean up. There was a couple of defensive assignments that need to work on some things there. But offensively, I think we set a number of school records in the game. Mm-hmm. They're not all going to be like that, obviously, but good to have a game like that for a number of guys to get on the court and be able to show that they can help us.
Your offense is very unselfish because they're a top 15 scoring offense in the country right now. Is that something that you expected coming in for them to be that unselfish and scoring the ball at this rate?
You always hope your team plays unselfishly, and we've tried to always have a program where being selfless is a big part of the program, but I certainly couldn't tell you going into the year that we'd be, in the top 20 or whatever it might be, scoring and, assisted baskets and things like that. So it's great to see. We did change up a little bit stylistically on what we were doing based on our personnel, but nothing that would have led me in the preseason to say we are where we are right now. And with that being said, there's we're only 8 games into the year. We haven't played a MACC game yet, and it gets harder as you move forward.
How important is it that offensively you guys are very multiple? You've talked to me about picking up the pace because of your personnel, specifically the speed of your point guard, Sion Medley, but that you have sort of an ISO back-down game with Rob Whaley, that you have shooters around Sion.
I think the biggest thing for us is making sure we're scoring points in the paint, whether that's transition baskets or getting the ball inside to Rob and Rico, and making sure we're attacking the rim. When we're not scoring in the paint, making sure we're kicking the ball for threes, and attempting. One of the things we didn't do in this most recent game was get to the free throw line a ton. But attempting to be the more physical team in terms of how we attack the rim. With our size, that's going to be really important as we get into conference play, that we continue to do those things, and certainly something we need to keep working on and keep emphasizing in terms of how we play, getting to the line, creating fouls on the other team's front court. Those are all things we work on daily in practice.
That you played as deep as 11 guys sometimes. Also, DeAndre Jones against Penn State Shenango had a career-high 19 points, 9 of 9 shooting. How do you decide? Is that a practice decision on how deep you try and go?
And at some point, that's going to have to get whittled down, too. I don't think we can play 11 guys all year long. But right now, guys are practicing very hard. It's competitive in practice. And then when guys get on the court, people have been producing and playing well. So they're earning opportunities to continue to play. So, it's a good thing that we have that depth. And then at some point, as we get into January, we will have to shrink to some degree the number of guys that are on the court each game. Just based out of how the game flow is going. But it's great experience for a number of players, and it's showing that, we're not reliant on just 1 or 2 guys to have success.
Where you guys get your first true road game of the year. Is that something you're really interested to see how your team performs in that sense? Because I believe it's one of the latest in school history that you guys have ever played a true road game.
That's another really good point. And we're going to need to see how we handle that. We played the 2 neutral sites games at the Greenbrier, but on the 14th we travel across the country to play Portland at Portland, a return game from a couple years ago that we were supposed to do last year when we played Oregon, but it got moved back to this season. So it'll be a good test for us. All these games, this game against Austin Peay on Wednesday, they're probably non-conference computer-wise as good as anybody that we've played so far this year. Then we go, to Portland, and then league play starts on the road at UMass. So, it's always good to play at home in front of your home crowd, but you also to win a championship, you have to win games on the road. So that'll give us an opportunity to see what we can do out there.
Kent State men's basketball head coach Rob Senderoff. Coach, we appreciate the time.
All right, great. Thank you.
Just ride one time for your mind. Just ride one time for your mind.
When it comes to reaching your goals, having the right support can make all the difference. That's why we trust Green Lending, Kent State Athletics' exclusive mortgage partner, to help you achieve your home ownership dreams.
Just like on the court, everyone has a role to play. With the right teammates, any dream is possible. Green Lending is here to be that support to help you make those big moves in life.
Visit greenlending.com and let Green Lending help turn your dreams into reality.
Green Lending, helping Golden Flashes achieve their biggest dreams on and off the court.
Joined here on Flash Talk by Kent State football general manager Mark Watson. Mark, really appreciate you joining me on Flash Talk for the first time. Ton of positive momentum with Kent State football right now. Finishing off the 2025 season 5-7. How great has it been being a part of the coaching staff just to see the growth of this year's team?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me. It's been a wild year. I'll say that for sure. But really proud of our program and the journey and the growth that we have shown really throughout this past year.
The term college football general manager, that's obviously pretty new with the era of NIL. So take me through what your day-to-day can look like. I know that can be pretty different.
My day-to-day looks different from day-to-day. Looking at recruiting film from high school kids. Now with the transfer portal window about to open up in about a month, getting ready for that on top of that. So day-to-day, it could look different. During the season, obviously, I'm evaluating our own roster, making sure that we're going in the right direction from each position group as well. So I spend a lot of time evaluating our own roster, each position group, also coaches too, on top of that too. So it's been a fun challenge, a little different.
Coach Carney, right before the end of the year, he talked specifically about roster retention. How important is this month before the one transfer portal window opens for you guys to have those conversations with players that you want to keep in-house?
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. I mean, that's how you build a program. That's how you keep the sustainability going and keep our momentum going as well. So we have to recruit our own players, you have to recruit high school kids, but you also have to recruit your own players too. And a lot of guys, and we just have to make sure they have a positive experience here at Kent State. And I believe, Coach Carney has really done that with our program.
How do you balance trying to say, all right, we're going to go more heavy and look at guys in the portal and evaluate talent there, while also making sure you're paying attention to the freshman class, which is something that Coach Carney has really emphasized. He wants to get high school kids from Ohio. How do you balance that?
Absolutely. It's knowing what you need in the portal and what you can take high school wise. So I spend a lot of time looking at the years of our players, what we have, and the guys that the seniors that are leaving is like, all right, we may be young here, all right, and we may need to add a veteran guy here, or hey, we're old here and we can add a young guy here. So it's finding that balance on what we need.
As many know, Mark, winning sometimes brings more resources, and obviously having much more success this year. How much can this year's success potentially help the build of next year's roster possibly?
It can be huge. There's a lot of growing momentum right now, especially from alumni and boosters right now. And it's fun to see. It's fun to get them back around the program again, and them wanting to be back around the program again. So all we can do is just continue to be ourselves authentically and show who we are. And that's what people want. And hopefully they continue to give.
Tell me how crucial your job is when it comes to relationship building, because I understand NIL and money can talk a lot of times, but how important is it that you and the coaching staff are building relationships with these kids so it's more than just dollars on the table?
It's really making sure that our football alumni base or any Kent State football fan feels welcome. We've invited, former players to practice. I know you guys have seen that kind of throughout the year with our Flash Talks, but just inviting them, making them feel welcome, part of the Flash football family, and kind of get a little inside access to what we do and practice and have a chance to be around our guys, because when it's all said and done, it's about our players, and our players are phenomenal. They're great kids, great people. On top of that, and just letting them have access, to kind of relive their glory days a little bit and have that locker room feeling again is very important.
For those that maybe didn't get to catch Kent State football as much as we did this year, why should fans be excited about this program moving forward?
We're still a young team. We're still growing, and the guys are hungry. They now see the potential that they have. I think early on you could see it. It was starting to shift and change, and then now it's like, hey, we're in every game, no matter what.
That's Kent State football general manager Mark Watson. Mark, we really appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Coming up this week in Kent State Athletics, brought to you by KSU Tix. The wrestling team has the Kent State Open inside the Kent State Fieldhouse this Saturday, beginning at 10 a.m. Women's basketball hits the road to take on Marshall at Huntington, West Virginia for a 1 p.m. tip. Men's basketball is back inside the MACC Center this Saturday for a 4 p.m. tip against Roberts Wesleyan. And finally, on Sunday, Kent State Gymnastics kicks off their season with their blue and gold intra-squad competition inside the MACC Center at 1 p.m. As always, you can get your tickets at ksutix.com. If you want more info on your favorite Flashes teams, visit kentstatesports.com or go to the Go Flashes app. We'll be back with more right after this. Golden Flashes fans, it's time to lock in your seats. Men's and women's basketball season tickets are on sale now. Be a part of 30 home games in the 25-26 season and history as we tip off a brand new court and celebrate the 75th anniversary of the MACC Center. Don't miss your chance to witness the action, the tradition, and the excitement all season long. Get your tickets today at ksutix.com. That's ksutix.com. See you there, and go Flashes!
I think you can do so much from traveling the world. So many people just stay in the box that we live in.
The study abroad program at Kent State made it clear what path I should be taking.
Experiencing the different classes to experiencing the art and the buildings and the culture. I'm just hoping to take back everything I've learned and be able to apply it into whatever I do in the future.
Kent State has basically helped to set up the vision for the career that I want to be able to go through.
Hello, everyone. My name is Randall Richmond, Vice President and Director of Athletics here at Kent State University. Have a special guest here in the Laing and Sandra Kennedy Trophy Room. Laing Kennedy, Athletic Director here at Kent State for 16 years. Some will consider the golden years of Kent State Athletics. We're here to talk about 75 years of the MACC Center and all your time here. So welcome to the show, Laing.
Thank you very much, Randall. It's an honor for me to be here with you today.
Throughout your time here, you've seen some amazing events here in the MACC Center. What would you say is your most memorable event here in the MACC Center?
I'm going to talk about two. I remember when President Obama was running for office, and he was coming here in the MACC Center, and our capacity is 6,312. And there was over 9,000 people here. And that was a memorable event. It was a raining day. Everybody showed up. It was a marvelous, and President Obama did a wonderful, wonderful job of inspiring us to really get in the mood of supporting a great president. And then you look at many, many athletic events. Yeah. I remember assuming this position and having the honor of becoming the Kent State Athletic Director in 1994. I remember the first time I walked in here and I said, this is not what I expect. I think I have a vision for some improvements. And you start looking around, and then and we assumed it was renovated in 1970, really a nice renovation. And the picture of the MACC Center as you're celebrating the history of 75 years, and you look at that, and you look at the front of this building, you look at the landscaping, you look at the access points. It's a marvelous facility. I compare it to traditional stadiums like Wrigley Field, Fenway Park, and I remember in 1996, I had the opportunity of hiring Gary Waters to become our men's basketball coach. And he inspired me to really love this facility. He said, this is our facility. Nobody has one like this. And our opponents don't like it because when they come here, they're going to lose.
Yes, sir.
And we built that culture in our teams as a home venue. Gary he was our first African-American coach, head coach at Kent State. I was very proud of that moment of having Gary join our staff. And he brought together a basketball team, and we won our first ever MACC championship. That was a glorious event, and leading up to that event, playing home games here and winning 15 in a row, and then in 2002, winning 30 games. It was a pretty thrilling time. And we tested the standing room only philosophy of having some games over 6,000 people here, averaging for the whole year over 4,000. That was a wonderful, exciting time to be associated with Kent State and to be associated with this facility.
In 2006, you have that renovation of the court. And, Ethan and the folks are doing a great job here so people don't hear the construction happening right behind us and all the banging. With the new court coming in, what does that mean to you? And what is that experience like seeing us be able to do that at this point in time to help these teams continue to have that home court advantage?
When you have the home court as we had, and as it was first constructed, and then we put the new floor in 2006, it becomes a kind of an icon event for us to look at the new floor and looking at the environment, looking at the huge crowd, looking around and seeing all the team-colored uniforms of all our fans, and it was a really exciting time to be part of that. And then having our post-game interview room and pre-game interview room really lifted, in my opinion, this is first class. And that takes all of that coming together, and it did. And looking at the renovation, and you see some of the things that I had a vision that we could really make the third floor of the MACC Center, and looking at the view of the court from up above, we can really make that something even more than we even have now.
Appreciate you sitting down with me here today to talk about all the great things Kent State, and as we celebrate the 75th year of the MACC Center. With that, you were here with Vice President, Director of Athletics, Randall Richmond, and the Laing Kennedy, great legacy of Kent State leadership. Thank you all for joining us today. And as always, go Flashes.
For every just one more mile to your next ace on the court, when you have a sports-related injury, Cleveland Clinic is here. For our Cavaliers, our Guardians, and athletes at all levels, our sports medicine team helps keep you in the game. With expert diagnosis, personalized sports therapies, and game-changing surgeries. For every injury, for every athlete, for every care in the world. Cleveland Clinic.
Joined here on Flash Talk by Kent State Gymnastics head coach Brice Biggin. Coach, really appreciate you joining me. Almost ready to start a new season coming up in January. Tell me, what is unique about this year's group and what are you most excited about?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we have a senior class who is, it's probably one of our biggest senior classes we've had in a number of years. And at the same time, a really talented senior class. So the leadership in our senior class is really going to be the thing that's going to kind of catapult us forward. But I think we have good representation in our junior class. Our sophomore class took some big steps from last year. And we've got a nice freshman class who's doing a great job so far.
You mentioned that big senior class. You also talked about the sophomore and the freshman. What can you say about the depth of this year's team, knowing that you can have multiple gymnasts that can go at multiple events?
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the things that we're most excited about is we feel like the depth on all 4 events is really going to be solid this year. We're going to have girls fighting for spots on every event, and it's going to be difficult. We talked to them just today about how difficult it's going to be to get into the lineup, but all of that makes us a better team.
Mm-hmm. And how important is it now in practice with that depth that they're performing at their highest level, knowing that it's going to be very competitive to try and compete during the meet?
It's huge. We actually, once again, talked about that today. The importance of what they do day in and day out to earn their spots into lineups. Mm-hmm. When you've got that many girls that are capable of doing really good, solid routines, consistency obviously is the number one factor that we look at, but also how clean they are and what we feel like their potential score is going to be.
I know you have a couple gymnasts coming back from injury this year. Tell me a little bit about their progress and how much you're excited to see them back competing.
Super excited. We both Dani Fuertes, who went out, early in January, early after our first meet. She has come along extremely well. Just a very dedicated young lady that we know has got super talent. Her bars are coming along. She's swinging really good. Her beam looks phenomenal right now. She's still taking a little bit of time because the Achilles takes a little time, but she's coming along really well. She's on schedule to be, I think, a good, solid competitor for us this year. Nene Alvin, obviously, a little bit later with her injury. But once again, she is coming along extremely well, and we're seeing some great things from her already. So, I certainly expect her to be in the lineup this year, and those two will make a big impact for our program.
I know the goal is obviously to win MACC championships every single year. You guys were able to do that once again last season, but I feel like with all the depth this year, don't you feel like this is a team that can get back to the NCAA regionals, Coach?
Yeah, no, we've talked about it a great deal with them, and we really feel like, once again, it starts with that senior class and the leadership that they exude from the team. But, in between the regular season and the MACC tournament and NCAA regionals, those are all things that they really have goals highly set for themselves. And now it's a matter of we got to stay healthy, we got to stay hungry, and they have to kind of do the little things necessary to take those steps. But it's certainly, I think, a team that's built to do that this year.
I know Flash fans are certainly excited to watch them when they get inside the MACC Center. Taking a look at all 4 events, Coach, vault, floor, beam, bars, what do you feel like is the biggest strength of this team?
Boy, that's a tough question. And one that's, I guess, in a way is good because I feel like we really have strength on all 4 events. Right now, bars, I think, is way ahead of schedule as far as the number of girls we have doing full bar routines and hitting full bar routines. Beam last year was a really good, solid event for us this year, and we're expecting it to be solid again. I think our floor lineup is going to be stronger than last year, and I think our vault lineup is going to be stronger than last year. So, in reality, I don't think we have a weak event. And that's really, I think, one of the things that we're looking forward to for this year's team.
Fantastic news to hear. Last question I have for you, Coach. 50th anniversary of the MACC Center this year. I know you have a lot of fond memories being the head coach of Kent State Gymnastics for a long time. What are some of those favorite memories that come to mind?
Just competing in the MACC Center. I think it's always special to be at home. Anytime we host a MACC championship, those have been obviously really special because we've been able to win a lot of MACC championships at home. And when you can win at home in front of your fans, there's no better feeling than that. So I think anytime we just get an opportunity to get in front of our fans, it's always special.
That's Kent State Gymnastics head coach Brice Biggin. Coach, we appreciate the time.
Thank you.
That'll do it for this week's episode of Flash Talk. Make sure you tune in next week for our Flash Talk finale as we preview the rest of the non-conference slate for Kent State men's and women's basketball. For our entire GFTV studios, Ethan Lachinsky, Justin Spots, I'm Dane Richardson saying good night and go Flashes.
Looking to revamp your home? Let Fair Painters, owned by Kent State football legend Brian Winters, tackle the job. From flawless interior painting to precise drywall repair and stunning cabinet refinishing, we've got you covered. Our local team in Streetsboro ensures top quality craftsmanship, fast service, and a 10% discount for veterans. Make your home look its best with the pros you can trust. Visit fairpainters.com or call 888-602-3247 for your free estimate today. Fair Painters, where fair meets quality. Golden Flashes fans, it's time to lock in your seats. Men's and women's basketball season tickets are on sale now. Be a part of 30 home games in the 25-26 season and history as we tip off a brand new court and celebrate the 75th anniversary of the MACC Center. Don't miss your chance to witness the action, the tradition, and the excitement all season long. Get your tickets today at ksutix.com. That's ksutix.com. See you there and go Flashes!